to see that it will develop into cancer. So then you have to make a decision between you and your care providers whether you're going to take a wait and see attitude to see if it's going to be cancerous, or you'll treat it right away.
Ductal carcinoma in situ, DCIS, is the presence of abnormal cells inside the milk duct in the breast. It is said to be the most common type of non-invasive breast cancer. It is non-invasive because it hasn't spread to other parts of the breast. A mammogram can easily detect DCIS.
Most times the DCIS is a small area involved, so they'll do something like called a lumpectomy, and they'll just take it out. But unfortunately for me, the area was big. So even though they knew that part of it hadn't turned into cancer yet, they didn't know if everything else, because the MRIs, the mammograms couldn't tell you which was cancerous. So the only advice they gave me was the only option I had was to have a mastectomy, which is to remove my breast. That wasn't a difficult decision for me because it was a breast. I'd had my kids, they were grown, a breast versus a life. It really was not an option. It wasn't a difficult decision to make. The difficult thing was I going to do one breast or was I going to do two breasts? So I opted to do a double mastectomy. But I was very blessed once again because of where I was and the team that I had. So during the surgery, they remove some lymph nodes to test if the cancer had spread beyond the initial stages. And once again, I was extremely blessed because when I went back for my post-surgical review, my daughter looked at me, and the first thing, that's why I said relationships are so important. The first thing she said to me, she looked at me, she said, "You must have had people praying for you." Because she said the cancer was the size of an orange, but it hadn't transferred, it hadn't moved. Where it started is where it was, even though there had been like a 6-month time frame between when it was discovered and when I actually had the surgery. I was blessed again in that because they could test it right away and see that it hadn't traveled anywhere.